Man, this movie was shitty.
No, it wasn't.
It's pretty bad.
Citizens, roll one, take one.
You do realize I put these in every intro. This part, yes. I have to now. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of BFFP, Big Feature Film Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about the most important movie of all time.
One of them.
Yeah, but before we get there, I'm Win.
I'm Will.
I'm Matthew.
Probably one of the worst movies ever.
Oh, shut up, Win. Not this shtick again.
Oh, I'm going to do this.
No, to be transparent.
I don't like these movies. I don't like this movie at all.
Shut up.
It's way too overhyped. This movie is what every professor tells their students, or film professors. This is what they tell their students, that it's the greatest movie of all time.
Maybe not.
And people only decide that it's great because the professors tell them to. So
shut up.
I'm just saying.
I can't do this shtick.
It's a highly disconnected film.
Hey.
It's interesting that this was even made, and it didn't make sense for it to be so long. Like, good God, that was like 2 hours long. I also didn't get how anyone would have heard him say Rosebud at the very beginning of the movie, because he was the only one in that bedroom, unless someone was there off screen, or the nurse heard. Like, the nurse had supersonic hearing just outside of the hallway. It's so dumb. Orson Welles also didn't write this movie.
No.
Herman Mankiewicz did. He wrote the story. And then Orson Welles was like, yeah, I'm going to do revisions. And then I'm going to take it. Yeah, all of it.
Anyway.
I don't give a shit about you.
Citizen Kane comes out 1941. This movie was kind of blacklisted almost.
Yeah, this movie was blacklisted.
Kind of. Or Orson Welles was kind of blacklisted. It was kind of both.
No, there was a newspaper. I don't know what you call him, an owner. He was apparently it was about him, and he really didn't like it. So he was like, if you put this on your newspaper, we're gonna talk trash about you or something like that. And if he was calling movie theaters,
the movie is about like partly a newspaper.
Yeah.
But this movie is, all your sarcasm aside of the fact it's not a good movie. It's a great movie, and you know it is, and he'll admit it later.
It's overhyped. It's just way too overhyped. Like, I remember people talking about this movie, and I remember thinking, I mean, they were saying like, oh, this is the greatest movie ever. You should really watch it. It's become such a notable thing in popular, in pop culture, that it's like, you got to describe something. It's not like Citizen Kane or anything, but I didn't really expect it to be like that. It's just it's way too overhyped, and when people are influenced to watch this movie, they're almost immediately thinking like, this is gonna be a great movie. And then once they watch it and they don't like it, they're like, yeah, I don't understand why people overhype this. It's just too much. I'm just gonna say it's just too much. It's 2 hours long. It is way too long. And you're telling a story about this guy who basically you shouldn't really feel bad about, and he really just doesn't do anything in the movie. Nothing.
He dies.
Yeah, that's it. He dies.
Something.
And Orson Welles isn't really a good writer. I don't know if you remember like his have you heard him do like the radio shows from the 40s or 30s?
The War of the Worlds.
Yeah, that one's not that good. I don't get it. It's so dumb. It's the thing is, like, he's just banking on the fear that people are going to have because they have a slight of ignorance and they don't know that aliens don't exist. So almost anyone can write anything like that, nowadays at least also. But, he basically just stole the stories that, I don't remember which author it was, but there was an author who, like, did space books or novels, and he basically just stole it from that, but never gave him credit for it because he wanted his own. So
yes,
it's not good.
Yes.
Would I recommend this movie? Probably not.
Anyways, what I have to say about this excellent film called Citizen Kane.
Also, he's just way too sociopathic. Like,
I think that's the point.
In his head, he got into his head that people were calling him people were calling him a boy genius. It just got into his head. It just doesn't make sense. He could have just like done the radio shows and never made movies. The radio shows were enough because he's not really that good.
I think this movie is incredible. It comes out in 1941. It feels very modern, except very old at the same time, but very just revolutionary is the word I would
Also,
use.
Orson Welles' acting in this movie was pretty bad, because like everyone else around him was like equally as bad, but since he's a star, it made him look good. He's not that good. He just has that smolder where it's like he has that what do you call it? The eyebrow raises and stuff, and then he just looks at every other character and just like, ooh. He just does that the entire time. He's like Dwayne The Rock Johnson trying to act.
I
I'm just saying.
disagree.
He is.
One scene I thought we could talk about in particular is when he dies in the snow globe. He drops it, and there's like the reflection of the nurse in the snow
Yeah, I have a
globe
problem
itself.
with that scene.
Shut up!
It's just, I don't get how anyone could hear him say Rosebud.
I'm aware, but quit talking out your ass.
I'm not. I'm talking through my phone. I have my phone up right now. Everyone in this movie is so loud and obnoxious. He's like, no. The editor, when we first meet that
Oh
editor,
yeah, he is.
he's like, that's it. That's what he does.
That's one thing I will probably agree with you on.
It's like, Mr. Kane.
Yeah, that scene where him and his friend like walk in,
Yeah.
and nobody notices him until he walks up to the certain guy, and they're like,
Get up, everybody. Also, his friend in that movie, he literally Jedediah. When they walk in, he sees a pole. Like he just misses the pole. I feel like he missed that mark. So he passed the pole and he looked at it. He was like, "Oh, I'm supposed to do this." And then he went around it and just did that motion.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the next scene, and it's like, did you miss that or was that intentional?
Anyways, on the completely opposite side of your thinking,
Hold on.
I
I think this is I think we have now attracted a bunch of people to watch this. Yeah, by being negative about it.
well, you were.
That's how you Okay, hold on. If you commented anything like, "Oh, when he's wrong and like he was wrong about Citizen Kane and he's being an idiot," you didn't watch the video, because I think this movie's excellent.
Big brain.
Big
He's
brain.
big brain.
There's nothing in here, but at least this time there is.
A little bit. But anyways, yes, I understand 100%. Now that we're actually talking about the movie, did you watch this far? Did you?
Yeah, I can't wait for
Did
the
you?
comments. If there is an actual
If
like,
there
comment
is,
that's like negative
is-
about this.
Yes, but anyways, this is great because people will look this up actually. But anyways, I see why this is the biggest like film school movie. It's like you have to watch Citizen Kane so
Yeah.
you know movies, because everything about it is just, it's revolutionary
No,
more
this-
than anything. For the 40s, it's insane.
No, this type of storytelling back then,
That too is
This
just
is-
unheard of.
it's amazing and it's monumental. Because I don't think anyone was gonna go this far telling a story. Because back then it was like, okay, so we watched Mank,
Yes.
and there was someone that was
Stay
talking.
tuned. We will talk about that later this week on our streaming.
This
devices.
Friday.
Yep.
He was talking about like it's 2 hours long and the story's all over the
Yes.
place and jumbled up, and then when you get to the final product, it's like, yeah, I get
And
it.
even now, though, like watching Mank and thinking, that's just how movies are now, though. They're
Yeah,
2
it
hours
is.
long, and sometimes the story's here, there. That's one thing. Even we talk about if in our Chadwick Boseman stuff, Get On Up is here, there. That's
Yeah.
just the first one I can think of, but that's just a common thing. Flashbacks going back and forth between the
Yeah.
story, and this movie probably isn't the first, but it's the first to do it astoundingly well. And another one, this movie, and since this is supposed to be kind of our black and white week, because we're going to talk about Lighthouse in the middle of this week before on Wednesday. Stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe for that. Make sure you like this video and comment. Another movie I would put on par with this, it's called Metropolis.
I think I've seen it.
It's not a complete movie per se. It's a silent film, and it came out in like the 20s, but it's like a sci-fi movie that you would believe that came out today, kind of. I mean, it is silent. So.
I think at this point that there's so many creative decisions that you can do or can have. You can literally say that about anything from back then, because like the way they did Mank, it's pretty much like Mank. They tried to copy the cinematographer for that. They tried to copy what they did in Citizen Kane.
Yes.
And that's just a creative source.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a creative source. You just kind of
it's almost like it's not necessarily the first, but it's like the staple. It's like the one that you're kind of based. It's a creative source. Is a great way to say it.
I think you really got to be into this movie, to movies.
Both movies, honestly. We will talk about Mank more in depth. But definitely we'll start Citizen Kane. And again, that's also why it's a film school type movie, because people who are in film school are going to like movies. And and I feel like almost everyone should like it because it's incredible.
But the thing is, like, I know that this doesn't have a huge demographic because, like, film nerds aren't that big in population.
Like the ones that want to watch it. Like, people love movies. Everyone loves movies. Like, everyone has a favorite movie, hopefully. Yeah. I think it's weird if you don't.
Honestly, you can't watch this movie if you just like to watch movies for spectacles. Cause, I mean, you definitely can, but at one point you're going to be like, yeah, this is really annoying.
Yeah, and then the payoff, which could be seen as annoying. I like it.
Yeah.
But it's...
I mean, the movies now follow that.
The payoff, this movie's 79 years old, right?
Just about.
Yeah, 79 years old. If you don't want it spoiled, I mean, click away now. But the whole thing, the big thing about this movie is he says Rosebud right before he dies, and the people are trying to figure out why he said Rosebud. And the reason is it's the name of a sled that he had when he was younger, pretty much, essentially. Yeah. But it goes through all this, and just the way it goes through the story is just what makes this movie. It's just so astounding. Yeah.
So this movie isn't really for everyone.
Not at all.
It really has to be a specific group of people.
Again, same with Mank. And that's because it's based off the writing of a movie that's not for everyone. It's a movie based on a movie. Yeah. That's all. Yeah.
We'll talk about Mank.
Yes. Friday. Another time.
Go watch
Make sure you're subscribed first, because it'll be later this week, coming out on Friday. So
what I was talking about, like, not for everyone. I'm talking about like the Asian market. The Asian market, they're very.
I could definitely see that.
Because like, if you made them choose between Citizen Kane and Transformers, they're definitely gonna say Transformers.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to be offensive or anything, but it's just gonna be a really small demographic that likes it. So
I mean,
if you're watching this video, you definitely do like these movies.
Yeah, because you could even look at, say, Bollywood type movies. Those are a lot of those are a lot of them are very down to earth and good, but some of them are just spectacles, and those are the ones that are popular.
People just want to watch kind of passive,
easy to take in content. Is what it is. And this movie is easy to take in, but it's also not.
The way I see it, it's like Transformers movies are like fast food, and big movies with big budgets, with higher end, like with deeper meanings or whatever, like complex storytelling. They're Gordon Ramsay restaurants, basically.
Essentially. And some of the, I don't know, this movie, some of the things that stand out to me are, one, the diary scene. God, that didn't sound like an actual word. The diary scene, one of the newspaper guys or somebody's going through his diary, and it's going back and forth, and it's like, wow, this is the 40s. This was 79, almost 80 years ago. It's just hard to comprehend even. It's a like point to show that people have always just been creative, and this could have always been done, and it could have been the 20s, the 30s, it could have been the 1800s, and this could have been done. It's just what the people have to make these movies.
What's insane to me is that Orson Welles had complete control.
Yep, he was
of the
big
whole
shot
film. Like they was it R what is it radio
RKO.
RKO was like, yeah, just make a movie, and he said that he wanted complete control of it, so he got complete control of it.
Yep.
Like no one was able to go into set while they were making these movies, so no one really knew what was going on, and that's really insane. And I don't think anyone else could do that now.
Yeah,
because
not at all.
you got like executive heads that are like always wanting to know, and
Like maybe a smaller movie, but not
yeah, smaller
Not
movies
a
probably, but not
big budget.
no, not like the Avengers movies.
And one thing to note is this movie, even though it's lasted all this time, it's got a movie that's made based kind of off of it in 2020 this year. It only won one Oscar, and that was for
No, this movie?
Yeah.
No, Academy. No, it won 9. No, it had 9 nominations and 1 Academy. I want to talk about my experience about this because, like, I was 14 the first time I saw this movie. My dad talked about Orson Welles because he was a big fan, and he would talk about the radio shows that he had, and famously known for the Visitors. I already mentioned this earlier. What was it? War of the Worlds?
Yes, War of the Worlds.
Yeah, my dad was talking about how that was like super awesome and people were freaking out or whatever. Or technically there wasn't that many people, but I'm not gonna get into that. From the time of watching this movie, I can remember being confused about this
Yes.
because I didn't know what the hell was going on, and I certainly wasn't like a big film buff
Yeah.
or film junkie. Just
I'm right.
what
It only won one Oscar. It got nominated for
9?
9.
no, yeah.
It was only original screenplay for Orson Welles and Herman Mankiewicz,
Mankiewicz.
which is what Mank is based on.
But yeah, I didn't get this movie. Maybe I really never. I really at the time I really never understood timepieces like this.
Yes.
Black and white stuff is just kind of there, and they're mostly cowboys and Indians or cowboys and Native Americans. But there's so many movies now with larger than life CGI and far complex storytelling, and I never really considered that time it was made. I was part of that demographic that loved to watch movies just as a spectacle.
Yes.
So this movie,
But that's fair. If I had I watched this for the first time 2 years ago, and if I had watched it any earlier, I would not have been interested in this at all. It's just my thought process, I guess, with movies had changed since then. And it's just incredible to just see it. And I'm going to pull up some notes, actually, since you won't rate it, and I give it a 9
no,
out of 10.
I'll rate it. I didn't say I wasn't going to rate it. I said I wasn't going to review it.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But anyways, couple notes real quick. The fake octopus, just awesome. I loved it. I want the fake octopus.
Fake octopus.
It's when they show off on all the animals.
Oh,
and they
yeah.
it's like
and
just
then it
shaking
just
on-
goes into
for like one frame too, and you're like, well, that was fake, but it's fine. The beginning of making it almost like a documentary about his life, I feel like that's such a cool way to start off the movie. And Xanadu, blah blah blah, and then,
I really like that.
yeah,
Yeah, I wish they would do that, like that announcer kind of voice where
yes.
it's like, in Xanadu, where he sits or whatever in his swimming pool or whatever.
And then the kid who looks like, or the kid who is his son, himself, that plays the younger Orson Welles, the younger Charles Foster Kane, looks exactly like Orson Welles, and I thought it was weird.
Yeah. The one that attacked
It was good
Thatcher.
casting, and it was a pretty good child actor.
Most of those actors those are first time
Yeah,
on moving pictures.
motion picture.
They're mostly theater actors. And that's what Orson Welles was. Orson Welles was a theater actor, and he kind of got coerced into making movies just because of his radio shows.
Yeah. And then he says, and a happy new year. I think it's like
It cuts. It's Thatcher.
Yeah, I swear that scene's based, or not based. Other things have copied that or something. It just feels so familiar, even though I feel like I had known that for a very long time, besides 2 years ago when I first watched this.
That's it's now a type of the way they introduce characters or introduce locations.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's like an answer.
Well, yeah,
to
just
call,
the
an answer
way
to
they
call, that's
do
what
it,
it's called.
sure, but just that one, how the way he says it and stuff, it seems familiar, but I'm not sure. If you know what I'm talking about for some reason, what movie or whatever that's from, leave a comment down below.
Home Alone. I think they did that in Home Alone.
That might be it.
Yeah.
But last note, I said it almost has a Wolf of Wall Street vibe.
Or you mean Wolf of Wall Street almost had the
No,
Citizen
because
Kane
I
vibe.
watched Wolf of Wall Street first, and this is my continuity of life. Anyways,
that kind of thinking then. This
I-
movie was shit.
No, this movie's great. Now skip back to the beginning. He'll talk shit about it. But you want to give it a rating out of 10?
10.
10.
Yeah, rewatching this movie really made me realize why I love movies and
so yes, it
art in
definitely-
general.
If you love movies like more than just as a spectacle, watch this movie, and yeah, it'll give you
Yeah.
a reason almost to love movies more.
And it really gives you a perspective, and it really reminds you that there are different ways you can tell a story in
Mhm.
almost the same format. So it's almost like paintings or drawings. You know,
Yes,
it's the
I would
same.
agree.
It's the same medium, but there's different ways of telling it. That's why I really like movies because there's so
Motion
many ways.
pictures, films,
Yeah.
cinema. But anyways, that's our little Citizen Kane analysis review.
What we
whatever.
thought about it. It's preparation for Mank.
Thoughts, yes, essentially. But I mean, that's the video. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the bell wherever it is.
It's when you press subscribe, the bell shows up.
Ding bong, ding bong.
Yeah, and watch our other stuff too.
Up in the
The other way. There you go.
God, that's
It's over there.
confusing.
But yeah, that was our little Citizen Kane.
Little analysis. I don't know.
I don't know what to call this one.
I think we should start calling them analysis. or
Analysis.
Explain. Not explain. We didn't explain shit. Except the ending, I guess. But
Citizen
anyway.
Kane experienced.
The Citizen Kane experience. But anyways, thank y'all for watching. We love movies. We love y'all. We'll see y'all next time. We've been the Continuity Crew. Bye.
Check out our channel. We have some really cool stuff.